And today we are going to do a No Rhyme or review of Chance the Rapper's Starline, his album that just came out August 15th, 2025. Self-released, no label, which is amazing, continuing the trend of independence. And he has a star-studded cast, including the features on the record, but also the production on the track. And so that's the first thing that we're going to get into. And then we'll get into the themes, lyrics, favorite tracks, and then our arbitrary rating. As far as production is concerned, we have some names on there, most of them not very notable, but some ones that come up a lot is Dex Level. I haven't heard of Dex Level much before.
I like that name.
You have AK-47. Chance does some production on the track. Dark Child shows up on No More Old Men. So if anybody doesn't know who Dark Child is, he's a producer that's worked notably with Michael Jackson on a lot of his 90s records.
Yeah, a lot with Brandy.
Yep.
And like that era of like, if there was a song that came out in the pop era of like female singers, Dark Child probably did it.
Yeah, his government name is Rodney Jerkins. So if you've heard that name, then it should sound familiar. Dex Level shows up a lot, by the way. So I think he kind of held the torch for a lot of these records, and then some other producers came in and helped out. And so I think we should talk about the themes, because that's the big deal with this album. What is this album about? How does it speak to you? So what do you think first?
I think it's like Chance's, it sounds kind of like a revival, given, the divorce situation that he's going through. I think finding inspiration and creating this sense of what Chicago is to him, while also kind of being very introspective at the same time. That harkens a theme to me.
Yeah.
In terms of what he was doing a lot on this album.
I think it's like how Bankhead used to say to me that like my best projects come after a breakup. Too bad I won't be having any anymore, because then I'm just destined to make crappy albums then.
Oh man. The Adele theory.
Yeah, but like I think, to Brian's credit, this seems like his comeback after a breakup. Yeah. And I think people criticize Chance's last release, The Big Day, as being not a great album because he was happy and married is what the narrative was.
I remember that. Like, and that's so crazy to me the way people do that. But anyway,
it's sick, but like still,
it don't feel like that was wrong, which sucks. But also, it makes sense. I think he would also like theming that he's still the same while also evolving. So it's like, I still got this energy in me. It doesn't change the energy of The Big Day. But where my focus points are, how I go about handling that, how I go about handling the criticism that came from that, are all apparent on this album.
Yeah, and when he started popping back up in 2022, what we noticed is that like he had been more traveled. He had been steeped in the practice. It's sort of like J. Cole's 10-minute drill or a 7-minute drill.
Yeah.
Where him and Vic Mensa and some other MCs that he is close with had taken the time to like dive deep into their craft.
Yeah.
And this is a product of him getting those reps in and putting in the work in order to make himself better. So I think that's what this album speaks to. Even the artwork continues to have some of the theming that 10 Day and Acid Rap has. What are some of the lyrics that stood out?
Chance, and we were talking about this off air, but Chance doesn't necessarily, he's not the most lyrical miracle guy. He paints his pictures very direct. Lines from him don't necessarily stand out in that way to me because I get what he's trying to say. And I think my favorite line from him was like, I put you in Chanel, but you're still tripping off ridiculousness and move you to the West Coast. Which, if you watch Ridiculousness, the girl on there, the blonde haired girl, is Chanel West Coast.
Right.
You know, she had done some rapping and stuff before. And I think that was like a really cool way of like dropping this bar that is like really complex, but multi-layered. Mm-hmm. And I appreciated the entirety of Vic's verse, but that like really stood out because I was like, wait a minute. Because it was segmented in a way to where it wasn't like he was leading up to a ridiculousness bar. It was just intertwined so well that you're like, I'm hearing things that I've heard before, whether it's Chanel West Coast, ridiculousness. Do these all play that? They do.
Right.
And so I really enjoyed that from him. What were some lyrics that stood out for you?
So there's a lot in this album that I really like. Mm-hmm. And so I think this is an album that I can go back to and play over and over again.
Agreed.
But one thing that stood out was Letters, which is basically a open letter to the church and to faith. And so in the second verse, what really stands out is withhold shelter from ninjas for survival. First ladies walking around with furs and titles. Watch you spit in the man's face and call it God. But then it's really on your dogma. Dogma is Silent Bob. Like, I love it. I love the way that he is critical without being, I would say scorning in some ways, right? Without being, I would say too judgmental, throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, I'd even think it's more direct versus like sacrilegious. Like it's an earnest conversation. Like I think sometimes you can have these conversations and it can come off real demeaning or like your anger or your rage or your passion or whatever it is isn't coming from something. And it's like, hey, this ain't what we're supposed to do. Yeah. We're supposed to be here for people. We're supposed to be here for people. I was in a situation where, I lost my aunt, but I saw more that was like, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, that ain't what we finna do. You definitely not finna do it about this person who I knew was everything that you're supposed to be.
And that theme kind of carries throughout the rest of the album too, because he comes with that energy time and time again. So like, this is not preachy chants at all. And I think in past albums, he could come off a little preachy. He's found a way to like really manage that.
Yeah, this album was something special. So let's talk about our favorite songs. And you'll go first this time because I think I have one, but it's hard to kind of pick.
Well, I mean, we're already talking about it, right? My favorite track is Letters because I haven't heard Chance in this way, and I've heard Chance be political, but not political and critical at the same time. Yeah. And so I've just heard, kind of surface levels of what things Chance believes without hearing the whole of it. And this is very holistic.
I think for me, I like No More Old Men. For whatever reason, I just think the story and the call of basically not having OGs or having older men that can be respected and how things are kind of changing really spoke to me for whatever reason, because I was a young kid, wanting an older mentor in my life, didn't necessarily have one at any point. So thinking about how that's kind of like dying out and how there's not really that connection, the song really, really stood out for me.
Whose fault is that? I wanted to throw that wrench in there on purpose.
If we're talking about fault in a lot of different ways, first, fault will always be personal responsibility. And I say that in regards to if you want a mentor, you can find a mentor. Now you got to be diligent about who you find and be able to like take the good with the bad. Secondarily.
So you're saying the person that needs a mentor needs to take it upon themselves to find the right person that could do that?
Yeah. That's one aspect. The second aspect, if you're specifically talking about the Black community, there were not a lot of us there because we were not allowed to be there, whether it's relationship, jail, or just general goings on of the hood.
General hood happenings.
Hood happenings. And then you think about the bigger portion of now, which is we spend more time being the age that we are. So like when you're 15, you think like a 15-year-old. When you're 30, you're not thinking about what you were thinking about when you were 15. So you're losing the actual connection of how I can talk to somebody. I think about, the generation, we spend more time talking about, oh, that music sucks, I don't like it. Mm-hmm. Like we all grow to that age of loving the music we grew up on and the artists we grew up on. Whereas it's just like, well, the same way that our artists change things, if we are open to having a conversation with those that are younger than us, to kind of like understand where they are at that space versus just immediately telling them how much they don't know because they haven't experienced life, we'd probably have more old men.
So here's my thought on it.
Let's get it.
I think the way that it is prescribed or diagnosed is hyperbolized. I believe that there are more examples of how to be a good man in the Black community than the Black community will accept exist.
I can see that.
Because you're not thinking about the teachers, the preachers, the deacons, the neighbors, the community that surrounds you. And I think this is kind of what you said as well. But like, you're not thinking about the community that surrounds you as an access point to those people. And for all of the ills that we have, those ills aren't the majority of us. I would say that the majority of those Black men, especially the Black men that I interact with, are upstanding family men, want something out of life, are pursuing it, and navigating white supremacy and all the other ills that they have to wade through. It's sort of like thinking in school that the kids that make the most, cause the most trouble is indicative of the school's culture.
I think we should get on to these arbitrary ratings.
Yeah.
I know last week I gave Jid like 4.5 out of 5. I really think I'm going to give this 4 Harold's Chickens out of 5.
Is that a Chicago spot? So ridiculous. For me, I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Yo, I literally just lost all the air in my lungs because that is hilarious. But what do you guys give it? What do you think of Chance's brand new album, Starline? What were your favorite features? What are all the things you enjoyed about it, didn't like about it? Let us know down in the comments. We'll see you in the next piece. Oh, wait. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next piece. A 1 and a 2 and a peace.